slot, we're going to be having a look at DC Universe Classics Wave 1 Red Tornado. Red Tornado comes to us from the Rex Mason Element Man wave. As you can see, Red Tornado is figure 5 of the set. I won't get too much into packaging because the packaging will be the same on all of these figures. So we have a kind of exploding back card that shows the different characters in the wave. It looks nice. I'm kind of hoping later on in the series, though, of the DC Universe, I hope at some point they're going to change the color up a bit. Just because every wave I have so far has this exact same card. Not necessarily the same characters, but that same kind of color scheme. And unfortunately, it gets a tad boring. But on the back of the card, as well, I would like to point out too that the Red Tornado. Here we go. The Red Tornado does include what looks to be the leg. Yes, the left leg. The other figures in this wave are Crime Stopper Batman. We've got the Penguin. We've got the Demon Etrigan. We've got Orion. And then finally, we've got this Red Tornado. All 5 pieces can be put together to form the Rex Mason Element Man. A biography is included on the card for Red Tornado. And it says, Red Tornado came into being when a living cyclone, originally called Tornado Tyrant from the planet Ran, was fused to an android body by the scientist to Morrow. Although he was originally created to destroy the Justice League of America, Red Tornado instead disobeyed his programming and defeated his master, thus earning the android membership in a grateful and forgiving JLA. One thing that's rather interesting, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to make this out, is it says Justice League of America, and it looks to be like there is a applied sticker. And I'm going to peel this off right now because I am curious. I am curious as to what that says. I really should have had this all prepped before I just peel this off. You know what? It ripped the cardboard. I'm wondering if it's just a misspelling of I don't know. It looks like it's spelt the same way. I'm not sure why they put the extra sticker on there. But statistics, first appearance Mystery in Space, number 61 as Tornado Tyrant. Justice League of America number 17 as Tornado Champion. Justice League of America number 64 as Red Tornado. Real name John Smith, occupation adventurer. Base of operations New York City current. Special abilities able to generate powerful cyclones, fly at great speeds, battle resistant android body. So there you have the packaging on Red Tornado. What I'm going to do is I'll get this guy opened up and we will get a closer look at the figure. So don't go anywhere, guys. I'll be right back. Now that we've got the figure out of his packaging, let's get a closer look at the figure itself. Before we actually get a look at the figure, we'll look at the accessories that he does come with. He does come with a rather cool cyclone funnel, or tornado funnel. I'll get into in just one second here. He also does come with the leg, the left leg of the Element Man. One thing that I do like about this leg is the fact that they've got a really nice gradual metallic to clear transition on the leg. The only downside though is I don't know if the leg is supposed to be bent like that. It looks like it was probably bent during packaging. I'm going to try to adjust it when I finally get all the figure pieces together. But it does come with the leg of Rex Mason. Getting back to the Cyclone at hand, you can actually take the Cyclone and put it in his hand. And it seems that they kind of reuse this funnel a lot. Not necessarily this particular mold, but the notion of this funnel. And they have given it to the Flash, as well as the Red Tornado from the Justice League Unlimited and the initial Justice League figures. They have used the concept of a funnel fairly often, I would say. But it is nice that they've actually put that with Red Tornado, because of all things it does make sense that Red Tornado would have one of these. The only downside, and I know for cost-wise, they usually, if anything, give you one accessory and then the one collect and connect part. What would have been nice, though, is if they had actually given you a second one of these, that you could either put on, you could have two on his hand, or even better, it would have been nice if they took this exact same mold and gave you a really large one that you could actually slip his whole leg into, or both his legs into, so then you could actually give him the funneling leg. I think for cost-wise, they probably wouldn't have done that, so I suppose if anything, it's nice that they gave you at least one of these, but it would have been nice maybe to have two for at least one for each arm. But we'll put that aside for a second, and we'll get a look at Red Tornado here. Red Tornado unfortunately does suffer a lot in the way of it, the way it was the paint application for the figure. The yellow is extremely messy on certain areas where it's just dripped right through. It looks as if they've tried to kind of give it extra depth, but it's really hard to tell because it looks like in the, I think you guys can see that, in the actual emblem on his chest, it's a solid yellow around the sides, but then running down the middle, they've got this additional coloring in it, like either the red has bleeded through, or they just haven't been able to apply the yellow completely. That same problem carries over with his hand. It kind of looks like they're trying to add the additional shading to it, but then you end up getting all these little splotches of red all over the body. I think of all the figures, probably Red Tornado is the worst for paint application problems. It is a real shame too. I've got a bit of paint problem right in the eye as well. Kind of sad, because I mean it takes away points for the figure. You can really see the paint problem hopefully at the back here as well, where they've got this secondary color, and then they've got some of the blue from the collar that looks like it's kind of, it either the yellow hasn't come through completely, or some of the blue has gotten onto the yellow. That's disappointing. I think that's really disappointing. But now Red Tornado was also supposed to come out in a variant modern version as well. For one reason or another, this line, the very first line, was notorious for promoting these variant figures. Actually, believe the first series and the second series. The second series, they eventually did come out with the variants later on, but series 1 here never did get the variants. There was supposed to be a modern, like I said, a modern Red Tornado that didn't have the collared boots, and he was more in the updated attire, which, if you ask me, I probably would prefer the updated attire rather than the classic costume. The Penguin as well was supposed to come with a variant that came with a penguin robot. Both figures got scrapped. They never did release them, and rather disappointing, because they really advertised it in the initial release of these figures, that these figures were also going to be included. So that's a bit sad. Now, aside from paint application problems, the one thing I do like about the figure is the cape. I think the sculpt on the cape is really nice, despite some of the paint problems, but really nice collar. I like the collar on him. In the way of his articulation, he has articulation in the head, although getting your hand in there to move the head and to get the head to move itself is a little hard just because of the way the collar is. But he has the ball jointed shoulders. He has rotation in the bicep. You can bend at the elbow. You can also rotate at the wrist. You can bend at the mid-torso stomach area. You can also rotate the waist. He also has the split-legged articulation. You can also bend the leg as well. There's rotation in the thigh, a single point in the knee, and you can also bend at the foot. But it does carry over the exact same articulation as the initial DC Universe figures. They really haven't done too much different with it. I'm still not a fan of the split-legged articulation in the leg area. I because I know it just seems to me later on that's going to give me problems. Overall, would I recommend this figure? I probably wouldn't recommend the figure unless you want to collect and get all the Justice League. Eventually they will come out with all of them. If you don't want to collect the Justice League members, unless you're a fan of Red Tornado, I would just say stay away from the figure. I mean, the figure is nice, but I don't know. The paint problems bother me, and I think unless I was really interested in getting the League, I probably would skip right over this guy. It's sad, but they can't win all the time, I'm afraid. But there you have a toy spot on the not too bad Red Tornado. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and with that, I'll see you guys next time. Later.